Hi English students, this is Miss Newman, and I want us to talk about the research paper, which is the very first paper we're going to work on for English 102. I find it helpful to work on the most challenging essay first because students usually come off of the break feeling more energized and ready to jump into a pretty challenging paper versus the end of the semester when students have final exams and they've had months and months of homework and everything. So I want us to go ahead and start on this research paper. So at any point, if you have questions during this writing process, please send me your questions. I know research can be pretty challenging and overwhelming sometimes. So if you ever aren't sure how to cite a source, or if you're not sure if the source is reliable, feel free to send me the link to the website or describe the source, and I'll help you cite it and figure out if it is a factual, reliable source. So for this research paper, I would like you to utilize outside sources. So that could be articles, books, documentaries, etc. As long as the source is reliable, the format of the source to me honestly is fine. Especially there's some fantastic Netflix documentaries about certain individuals. So depending on who you choose, you might want to look around and see if you can find a neat interview or documentary to add to your source collection. But you're using these outside sources to learn about an influential person and how he or she has influenced today's society, whether for the better or for the worse. While you may choose the person, please ask my permission for your topic before beginning your research. There is going to be a topic proposal and outline due, so take a look at discussion board and see the instructions for that, because that way I'll know not only who you've chosen, but your idea on how you want to structure your body paragraphs as well. Also, you may not repeat a topic that you have written about in the past, so that could be during English 101 or your high school class. And I'll explain why. The plagiarism checker that I send all of your essays through does not show me the student name of who wrote the essay last. So it could be that you turn in an essay that you've done very similar essays on in the past, or you're using the same research you used before, and it flags you for plagiarism, but it doesn't tell me that you wrote the paper from like a year ago or a couple years ago. Also, it's just more ethical to go ahead and write an original research paper so that way you're putting in a similar amount of work as your classmates. So if you have any questions, let me know. The rough draft will be due Wednesday, February 2nd by midnight, and you turn in all of your rough drafts into discussion board so that we can do peer review on your rough drafts, because your peers are going to be able to give you feedback on ways to revise your paper to make it a final draft. So then the final drafts are the ones I will grade. The final drafts are the ones that I know you finished, you're all ready for me to check it, and so that final draft is going to be due Wednesday, February 16th by midnight, and you'll turn that into the content week 6 folder. So you'll click content and then click into week 6, and I'll have a link so that you can submit your paper electronically that way. Your research paper is worth 40% of the final grade. It's actually worth 2 essays. So it does carry by far the most weight of any of the essays, but luckily we will have several weeks to work on this together. And like I said, feel free to send questions at any point during this process. The research paper should be at least 1,000 words in length. That does count your works cited page. It does need to have 12-point Times New Roman font, double space with MLA heading and style. And I'm going to take a look at the Siegel textbook, which is one of the textbooks that's required for this course. It's the same one that you use for English 101. And I'm going to point you to page 192 in the textbook. It has an example of what MLA formatting looks like. And as you can see, it starts with your name, my name, the course, and the date. Your title is centered at the top of the paper. Notice there's a page number with your last name next to it as well. So I definitely recommend checking out page 192 for an example. Also, you will have to have a works cited page. And a works cited page, you guys should remember this from English 101, but I also want to point to an example of what the works cited page could look like on page 199. Notice the title works cited is at the top centered, and the citations are all in alphabetical order and double spaced. Also notice there's more information on here than just the website link. You will have to include various pieces of information depending on the type of source you find, And luckily, this textbook has really good examples of how to cite sources. So for instance, if you do use a website, page 180 has an example of exactly how to cite a website. So I recommend flipping through your textbook and checking out the different citation examples. And like I said, if you ever are not sure how to cite a source, please let me know, because I'm happy to give you extra guidance on how to cite a specific source that you found. But you must have a works cited page, and you must include at least 3 outside sources. And like I said earlier, it doesn't really matter to me if you have 2 books and an article, 2 websites and a documentary, whatever combination of sources you find that are most helpful for your topic. But they do need to be reliable sources, and you must have at least 3 outside sources. If you have more, that's fine. I won't count off for being an overachiever, but you must have 3 at minimum. I do have a final draft late submission rule. So that is that I count off 10 points off every day late. So just make sure you turn in that final draft on the 16th, and you won't have to worry about being penalized for turning in a late paper. All your final drafts are going to be graded using the grading rubric that's on the Getting Started page of Blackboard. And then it's also going to be scanned with anti-plagiarism software, just to make sure that your essay is your essay and not another student's essay, or completely 100% online, or the entire article. When you're quoting, make sure you only quote the information that's most important for your argument or your stance. You don't want to quote so much that whenever it's checked with the anti-plagiarism checker, it's 90% someone else's work. I just want to make sure that this is also your ideas about the paper and about the individual that you choose. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. I know this is a fairly open topic paper, which most students enjoy, because then they get to choose a person that they genuinely want to know more about and want to research. But some students that have trouble writing specifically can get overwhelmed with an open topic. So I have helped students choose their topic by just emailing back and forth a couple of times and asking them, what hobbies do you have? What are you interested in? And we can usually pinpoint an individual that makes the most sense for them to research. Or say if there's 3 or 4 different individuals that you're not really sure which one to choose from, I can help you choose the most likely individual that you'll be able to find research on. So just let me know how I can help you through this process. I'm always here to help, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks. Bye.